I am Sergeant De Leon, retired, 2014 Army, and I try to get these videos out to see if I can get some attention and some help to battle the federal government, the VA, to diagnose me with the correct medical issue I'm having, which is a TBI, and start receiving the correct benefits and medical help treatment that I need. It's been some time that I've been doing it. It's been years, and I do have some people helping me work on it, but it's taking forever. And by the time anything happens, and all my ducks in a row, I could be dead with this damn TBI. I tell you. So other than that, my contact information is available. If not, it's Marco.a deleon, the number one at gmail.com. If you have somebody that's willing to help, an attorney, I don't know, anybody aside from the stuff I've already dealt with, which is um, NSOs, which is a national service officer, any of this VFW shit, any DAV, all that. I've been down that road multiple times. At the moment, I'm dealing with Wounded Warrior program, and I just decided to see if I could go mainstream with. I've dealt with them before, but I'm gonna see if this can I could update my complaining record, so that way, if I do move forward with some progress with an attorney, I could say, look, I filed for a complaint through the Wounded Warrior program. I just update my complaint online. That's all. Well, we'll see what happens. I'd be surprised if they actually help me and give me what I need. So other than that, I also do these videos to talk about the latest and the greatest um, issues that are plaguing the USA at the moment. Being a retired veteran with the Army, my experience with dealing with the military is has been one hell of an experience, I tell you. But I do believe, and I believe it as a fact, that a lot of the concerns and high profile issues that are going on in our nation are, aside from conspiracy, that's a big word. People use it all the time. They're common. It's a common. These are all common issues. We've been dealing with these things for some time. These issues for some time. It's just some of them sort of bottleneck. They become bottleneck, and they come to front of the line. Like for instance, we've been dealing with immigration for some time, right? Immigration. Um, the United States has always been concerned about open borders, closed borders, and we we've always had that issue on our plate, right? So now that you know other things are affecting our border, and times are different, right? Times are different. Resources are scarce. Er, we have to be concerned about these things. And when you bottleneck social issues, it becomes a very hazardous, should I say, issue with everyone, because then it becomes a whole bunch of things, right? Becomes racist, becomes, the government conspiracies, trying to keep the people down, um, you know, um, and so I like to address these things, but you know, in my health with my TBI, I'm getting less and less active with having my thoughts, being able to think as I used to before. I'm not as active with my thoughts anymore. I got short-term memory issues, and that's why I've been advocating for myself for some time. I just can't find anybody to take the initiative, take the bull by the horns, and really attack my case. I just haven't found anybody. I'm from Arizona. Kirsten Cinema, Andy Biggs, Juan Ciscomani, he's new. I had John McCain at the time. I mean, I've dealt with everyone, and it's been completely frustrating for my family and I. And so now, I keep myself busy by getting involved in my case, and I have to be proactive. And I'm doing keeping true to political stuff, keeps my mind active, and I enjoy it, and I'm sure everybody else does. Right? Right now, politics are the thing. Right? Politics is the thing. Man. I like politics. As you get older, you tend to enjoy it a little more. Uh, it becomes a true, more of a true situation in your life. Right? Right? So, but right now, so what we got? What do we have? What do we have on our plate that we have to address immediately? Immediately, right? Um, there's a lot we got to deal with, but immediately, I think something that needs to be addressed immediately is um, our the U.S. And I believe this is our um, how can I put it? It's um, our national security, right? Our national security is, I think, for the first time in some time, it's been at risk because of all the things that we've been addressing, like racism and equality. We're dealing with all these behavioral issues, and that's what we have, people. That's what we're dealing with. All right. We're not dealing with mental health issues. I hear it all freaking day, man. Mental health, mental health. No, I have a mental health issue. Okay. Mental health doesn't always mean that you're doing something bad. Mental health means that you have a mental health discrepancy, like something going on, you can't think straight. There's an effect. It's being affected by medical or injury or something, right? Um, I have a mental health issue. Okay, what I see as person having a mental health issue in my country is, and that's the United States of America, is we have a behavioral problem. All right, we have a behavioral problem, people. It's not a mental health issue. It's a behavioral problem. And everybody likes to use this mental health excuse. It's not a mental health excuse. I'm not going to sit here and blow shit up your ass and say that we don't have a mental health issue. Well, entirely. We do, but it's not what we're projecting it as an entire. our entire country is dealing with. No, mental health issues are common. They're every day. There, people go in and out. People have medical issues. Those are mental things. But what we're doing is we're attaching, and it's very few people, I think, in the media that are making a big deal out of it. They're exploiting. The key word here is exploiting. It's a big word these days. We I like to insert me as the problem too, because I'm not, you know, I'm not, saying that I'm 100% correct in what I'm saying, but exploitation is a big deal in our country right now. We're exploiting African Americans. That's why we have a big racial issue. We're exploiting sexual identities. We're actually exploiting our authorities. Parents' authority over their kids, parents, authority with the police, authority. We're exploiting everything right now, and it's a damn shame because it causes a lot of problems. Right, causes a lot of problems, and our mental health issue is not a real issue. All right, that's my opinion because I have a mental health issue and I just can't associate with seeing what people are saying on the news about having mental health issues. Somebody goes berserk and all of a sudden they have a mental health issue. It's such a damn excuse. It's such a damn excuse. It's pathetic. And this is what other countries see. Do you think other countries don't see what I'm saying? And a lot of people say what I'm saying exactly. There's a lot of folks, there's millions and millions of people who are saying what I'm saying. We're just not being heard enough. Other countries see that we do not have a mental health issue in our country. We have a behavioral problem. People are misbehaving in our country. And there's a lot of ways to misbehave, right? Most of what's going on is, like I said, exploitation. We are exploiting the fact that the power in our country, like police, are abusing the citizens. That's a bunch of bullshit, man. Without the police, we would have nothing in our country. Nothing. Okay. We can't corral ourselves. And that's absurd. I'm not going to sit here and historically tell you why we need police because you ought to know the damn thing as an adult. Nobody should be sitting and explaining to you why we need. If somebody has to sit down and explain to you why we need the authority police in our country, then you just done lost your adult card. We're it's absurd, people. It's so absurd it makes you feel like throwing up, right? And unfortunately, we've been giving too much attention to those issues because of the dumb masses, right? The dumb masses is a real thing, people. The dumb masses. Okay. Not everybody's into politics. Not everybody wants to be into politics. Not everybody knows issues of much of what's going on around them. All they know is that they have kids, they have a family, they go to work or they don't. They need education. They got to pay tax. That's all they know. That's all they know. All right. But no, we've been asking every Dick, John, and Joe in the damn world, what's your opinion? And people are taking it literally. These people don't know shit about nothing. All right. Um, so the exploitation, again, exploitation, you know, we're making it more relatable, right? Exploitation. We're making it more relatable to hear some, you know, Bob walking down the street, oh, look at Bob, he's a thug ghetto person, and we're interviewing them. And so people are becoming more relatable they think that this is happening all across the entire country. And this is the way every Dick, Jane, and Joe, and Bob think. It's absurd. It's absurd. So now everybody's thinking the same way. Oh, yeah, there's a conspiracies. And all this racism and all. Yeah, it's a bunch of bullshit, people. So exploitation's a big thing in our country right now. We don't have a mental health issue in our country. We have a behavioral health issue. All right, we have a behavioral health issue in our country. All right. People think that they don't need to be told. People think that, in general, that they know more than the next person. They're more patriotic than the next person. They have more conspiracy theories. Oh, they got the inside information. Oh, that's the way it is. When you exploit something, this is the consequence. All right. Instead of putting people in their place and telling them to shut the fuck up, you don't know shit. We let them vamp. We let them go on and on and on and on and on. You know, and it's absurd. We all have a job, and being a general public person like myself, you know, we have a simple duty, right? And that's just to shut the hell up and keep the wheel turning. Go to work, do your thing, take care of yourself and your family, and that's it. And shut the hell up. But no, everybody wants to be special forces. Everybody wants to be extra tactical. And everybody wants to be, oh shit, look at, I have the inside information. Bunch of bullshit, man. Give too much credit to the fucking general public and it explodes into a bunch of BS. We need to learn our place again, all right? And be done with it. Let the professionals do what they need, except nowadays, we need to vet, right? We need new policies and what have you to vet our leaders, because our leaders been fucking up too, right? Our leaders are completely terrible these days. Yeah, we're learning a lot about our leaders, and thank God we are. We need to adjust fire and make sure we VETT or vet our leaders better, put them in office, and make sure we hold them responsible. Right? We got to open up. We definitely have to open up our leaders, our politicians, um, authority to the public. Let's learn what their actual job description is. Okay, let's not let them run rapid, wild, and hold all these secrets, when they're supposed to be actually working for. Let's hold them to that. What is actually your job description, Mr. Senator? What is your actual job description, Mr. Congressman? What is it? I want to know. Just don't point me to a website and say that's your guys' responsibility once you elect me. No, no, no. It's your responsibility to educate me and let me know. All right. So I think we should have a honest website, something that's factual, something that's not so hard to understand, and we should pay for it. Some tax money to build this website that describes what our senators and Congress people, what their actual job description is, and go in detail of the current issues that are happening. Right. So right now it's like I pointed out, exploitation of African Americans, this racism shit. For some reason, restitution and all this stuff becomes, top page because we're not doing something right. Right. We're allowing ourselves to be exploited to a lot of these issues that shouldn't be front and center. Right? We're always going to have racial issues. We're always going to have high profiling issues in our country, like every other country has. There's ways to deal with it, right? Doesn't always have to be top drawer, top page. Doesn't always have to be front page in the newspaper. It doesn't. So these are things that we got to work out generationally. That like for instance, a big issue is the African American issue, racism. They feel they have this uh, right to to make other people feel like they've been hurt so bad that we need to overly express our sympathies for them, right? It's absurd. Everybody tiptoes around black people now. Just like look at a prime example would be look at Elvin Bragg. Nobody wants to tell him anything. Everything's done in a more quiet sort of tiptoe around him, way, because there's even more people behind him that are African Americans. Nobody wants to get involved in that. And it's a damn shame. We should be attacking African Americans like we attack everybody else. They don't deserve any special treatment. That's for damn sure. And I don't even want to get into the frustration of it because it just doesn't help. I'm just giving facts. All right. So that's a big issue. All right. Big issue. And we need to stomp on that shit. Right. The USA needs to cut, look, people, don't waste my time anymore. Right. Let's get over the conversation. You African Americans want to start your own country, then go back to fucking Africa. That's my opinion. You think that the United States abused you? Well, then go. Why don't you guys try to start your own damn country? You know, go ahead. See if you guys could do it better. You guys were not abused. I know you guys are like, yeah, but we were slaves. That's ridiculous. No, 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 no. There was no intentional abuse for you guys back in the day. All right. There was a ends to a means with African Americans. All right. Humanity comes into play, people. All right. Humanity comes into play. And when it comes to money, people will kill over it. They will treat you as bad as they can take it to the edge. And that goes for everybody. So don't sit there and start telling people that, the United States wanted to build the United States and went to Africa and like, we're going to build the United States and went over there and got African American people and brought in. That's not what happened. That is fucking not what happened. All right. I'm telling you guys, exploitation. You better learn your fucking history before you open your stupid mouth. Right? Just saying, man. I get tired of it. I'm a Native American, and we have our own issues. So um, it's been the running thing, and if you guys are gonna want attention, then you're gonna get attention. You're gonna get it. You know, and you ain't gonna get no sympathy from me. That's for damn sure. Um, but we got to stop that. White folks, do not let yourself get beat up by black people. I'm gonna say it straight out. Stop being so scared of it. You white folks need to fight back. Okay, I'm behind you. You know, I see all these videos on TV of black folks beating up on white people. No, that needs to stop. Okay, and black folks know it, man. They know it. There comes a time. When push comes to shove, it's over. And that time needs to come now. So we got a lot of things going on, right? And then we got, the Ukrainian thing. The longer the Ukraine war goes on, the more conspiracies happen, the more, reason to not support Ukraine. You get taught, you get, what they call it, you get uh, fatigue, war fatigue, supporting it, giving money, and um, and a lot of bad information going on around. And it doesn't help that we have we got one of the most disrespected presidents in the White House, and I say that honestly. Joe Biden is probably the most disrespected president that we have thus far. And given so the facts that he is, because when you kill 13 soldiers, and you don't address it, and there's no responsibility and accountability in the people surrounding you that made it happen. um it doesn't sit well with folks, right? Does not. And I cannot forgive that. There's no way. As being a veteran, mm-mm, that man needs to be responsible for what has happened. um um if you don't know much about military culture, you know that was a bad situation. um if I were to explain it to somebody as a veteran, I know enough to say that that was no mistake. And the reason I say that is because the protocol, okay, the way things are supposed to happen, because they've been happening, okay, it wasn't as though, and let me put it this way, it wasn't as though the Afghan war started a day before they started to exit Afghanistan, or a week before. No, the war had been going on for a long time, right? And there's protocols and operation standard operating procedures that go on with security, and you know a process of moving here, moving there. And when you have those protocols that have been in place for years, there's no excuse if something happens to someone under that protocol. You're responsible for it, no matter what. No matter if it was an accident, no matter if it was intentional, no matter what. And this was not an accident. This was an intentional change. Should I? Oh, I don't know if it would be a change. It would be a different strategy, a protocol that jeopardized the actual standard operating procedure. They shouldn't. These soldiers did not need to be in that situation, and one of the generals or somebody put him in that situation. I mean, completely irresponsible. You can't do that, people. You cannot change protocol to a safety measure. You can't do it. All right. You cannot do that. And I suppose that, we all know that. I think the people who don't know much about military stuff, I think that you could have a gut feeling, right? You get a gut feeling, and something not right about that, right? And that's what it is you're right on with it. You're on with it. You're exactly right. Is that, you do something all the time a certain way. In other words, whether you're military or not, you're always doing something a certain way because of a lot of reasons, because of safety, because of effectiveness, because of whatever reasons that you're doing it. And when you switch it up, there better be a damn good reason why you're switching it up, whether it's top secret, whether it's not a top secret, whether it's something that is going to affect other people. I mean, you have to acknowledge that, um, if there's a change in your protocol, how is it going to disrupt something? I mean, is it a high responsibility? Is it a low responsibility? I mean, these are the things that were completely ignored with the Biden administration. And he has no excuse whatsoever. He, I mean, it's something I believe out of all the things Biden has done, whether he's a criminal, with the whole his son and his family, skimming off the top of the United States to try to benefit, making money just because he was a senator, and have some use their name to gain some gain we call some leverage because he's a senator, or now he's president. And out of all the things that we have been dealing with this poor administration, it's a poor administration. Um, that one issue, that one issue with the 13 soldiers that were killed should lay this gentleman, I wouldn't know if I want to call him gentleman anymore, lay the president of the United States, Joe Biden, in prison. I know it sounds much, right? It's like, well, you can't really do that. Yeah, I know. When you're president, you have privileges. Um, there's certain protocols of privileges that you have where you can't be arrested for certain things. You're somewhat above the law in a way because of your status. There's certain things you can do and you can't do, and that's what I'm talking about when I say we need to know the job descriptions of our elected officials, our dignitaries. We absolutely need to know them, people. It's time. We need to know what their leverage is. What kind of laws are you not, or are you excluded to, as a president, as a senator, as a congressperson. I need to know, because then at least I know, and I'll be more comfortable to know that there is going to be some accountability, right? And we don't have to create all these conspiracies. But Joe Biden, in my mind, being a veteran with service experience, being a service member, he needs to seriously be accountable and be responsible for those 13 that were killed. Him, and or if it excludes him, we need to change that rule, and or give the generals that made the decision, they need to go to prison or jail, be court-martialed, to account for the 13 that were killed. You know, these are our brothers and sisters who are not coming back. They're doing the best they could, regardless of the details. I know people like to dive deep into the details of what these 13 were doing, what were their positions, what were their jobs. We heard about the sniper. He had he had a role there. But besides that, overall, the main issue was that the protocol to safety, the safety protocols, the 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 standard operating procedures were whitewashed. They were excluded from them moving to this airport to get out of there, and that is a serious issue, people. That is a serious issue, and people died because of it. And generals or him need to be completely held responsible for it, and not just a slap on the hand. Ooh, nope. Um, so what's up, dog? So I'm out here with my dogs. It's getting warm in Arizona. You're not from Arizona, and it gets up to 80 some, almost 90 degrees coming up here. And I get in my wheelchair here. I got some bigger wheels here. If you could see them, I don't know if I can show you that. But I roll around in the desert, get the dogs their exercise. and I entertain myself. Right, got to get out here and get these dogs, get them out of the house. And I got to watch out for snakes. So, um, so what I do is I move a little bit, I park, I move a little bit, I park. I brought over myself a machete, right? I brought the machete. I just got through sharpening it this morning, and so I also have this thing here, which is my snake noose, right? Put the edge of it there. If you can see the top of it, you put it, get a long enough pole. You move it over to the snake, and you get it. And if it's being, it's being difficult to deal with, then I have to end it. I have to get rid of it, and that's where machete comes in. But yeah, you put the noose around the neck, and at the other end of the pole, which is the bottom of it, you pull it, and you gotta give it a nice tug and hold it. You catch a snake, you could relocate it, or like I said, if it's being difficult, you end it. You know, I get my machete and it's done. That way, it doesn't bite my dogs and me. So, but most of the time, I at this point, the snakes, um, once I push on them, if they're roaming around out here, they're trying to get some heat. It's heating up now. They go back into the hole in their hole, and they disappear. But sometimes they're a little stubborn. Yeah, and time is of the essence with your dogs. So out here, you got to dogs want to get curious. Even though the dogs are trained, if they're trained to detect snakes and try to keep away, they get careless. They want to run around and jump, and these snakes can strike at a distance. So you end up getting in trouble with them. So it's difficult to manage dogs when there's snakes around. But so far, it's been good out here. It's getting warm. Um, Again, I'm advocating for myself as a veteran. I got a TBI. I do have an attorney. We've been working through trying to get some correspondence to the federal government to see if I can, get some of their policies, the federal government's policies, the VA to be applicable to me, because the VA has not been applying those SOPs to me medically. And if that works out, then I don't need to, pursue it any further. But at this point, the way it's been going, to acquire my TBI through the VA, it's been difficult. Um, I had been noticing that for veterans information, um, there's a it's a two-sided coin when you're dealing with stuff like I'm dealing with, which is trying to claim injury or trying to get some sort of benefit, medical help or something through the VA, and there's some confusion or conflict in doing so. I have noticed that on TV, Newsmax have done it, Fox News, some other people. The two-sided coin is you either get blamed for not doing the correct stuff, or um, you get you get very little help because nobody knows what to do to help you. I mean, everything's about, you know, real simple issues. Oh, I stubbed my toe, I need some medical. Okay, well, let's see what we can do. And then they assign you, some sort of status because of that. But when you're talking about something like a TBI and, um, it's affecting you severely like it has me. It's claimed about 85 to 95% of my fine motor skills across my body, mental health issues, all sorts of things. And I'm doing damn good with it. I tell you, I make this shit look easy. I do, people. When somebody looks at me, they're like, man, you don't look so bad. You don't look like you have what you're saying. I know because, I make it look good. I'm a struggler. I don't like, uh, I don't like to, bring attention to myself when it comes to, medical issues, start getting this, oh, poor me type thing, right? No, man, that is not me completely. Um, I, I rather suffer, and deal with, for instance, like having a toothache and deal with the toothache than going into the hospital and, start crying about it. I'd rather deal with it for a while and then go in if it's not working out. But now that, I have the VA dental, um, and I've crossed that boundary of, let's just deal with the teeth. Don't worry about, not dealing with it. I go in all the time now. I had to learn. I had to learn how to accept, just go in and get, even if it's a small issue, you know, and that's something I have to learn. Right? And there's a lot of veterans like me out there that do that. Now with my TBI, I run into the problem where, folks on the news, and I hear them all the time. Folks on the news say, well, you need to document your stuff, your injuries all the time. You need to document it. If not, then it's your fault. That's what they want to say, right? And that's easier said than done, okay? Because that will depend, right? That will depend on who you are, what you are doing overseas to sustain these injuries, and what the how easy the protocol was for you to, document these or go to the hospital while you're on missions. And I was in Iraq and try to get, these injuries documented. It all depends. But people's tend in the news tend to blame you in a sort of hindsight way, in a indirect way by saying, "Well, you need to document these. You got to document. If not, it's your fault." That's the thing, right? So you were not there. So what I say is, you were not there with me, and if you were there with me, you would understand why. And that's what happened to me is I didn't document some of these injuries because they didn't affect me as I thought they were affecting me. And it was very hard to for me to deal with my medical issues while I was in this unit going through Iraq. And um, so I let these things sort of linger on a bit. Not a long time; it was a short time, but I elected in the end, out of all that, document, document, document. Well, not everybody has the privilege to do that, and don't think that way, right? No matter how much you stress it. Um, like I said, it depends on the situation you're in, and who you are. Exactly. It's completely who you are. you know. For instance, let me go off on a little tangent here, but when I went through basic training, I was an older fella. I was in my 30s, and I have fractured my tibia, my knees, both my knees, by just the sheer weight of rucking, and we were doing exercises to learn how to jump out of a truck if we were getting fired upon, and I had to jump out the truck with this weight on me. Well, after a few times, it made a big difference of more than 100 pounds in your rucksack, jumping out of a truck, and learning how to roll with your pack on, all that stuff. And later, I learned, I fractured my tibia doing it. It took about a day. Took about a day for it to really, man, it was terrible. Oh boy, I tell you, my God. It was one of the worst things I had to deal with when it come to uh, uh, you know being put in a situation where I had to perform and then get fractures. Have fractures. I had hairline fractures, a bunch of them on my tibia, which is right up in this area. Both both of them. And I was the kind of person, you know, growing up the way I did, in poverty, in the projects where medical issues were shunned upon. We had to ignore them. We didn't really take care of them because we didn't have the insurance and the money to deal with it. Had to be very careful of who we were and how we were injured. It's just the way it was, folks. And when I got into the boot camp, started to hurt, and I ended up having, and it was near the end of the boot camp. I had to perform and do a 2 mile run. Um, and man, I tell you, I went into the, and when you're in boot camp, they folks in boot camp. Well, you're in boot camp, man. If you get excused out of boot camp to go do some medical thing, they do not like that. That is a no-no. They'll recycle your ass no matter what. How much time you miss, you'll get recycled. All right. And you'll have to do all that shit over again. But so I was like, I'm not going to get recycled. Let me, pound my way through this. And so I have to do a 2 mile run at the end of the boot camp in order to pass and move on, collect $200, right? I had to move on, man. I had to pass go. Yeah. You know, and so I ran 2 miles with both my knees, mild tibia fracture, they call it, but it didn't feel like no mild tibia fracture, I tell you that much. And I ran 2 miles. Think about it, folks. Think about it. 2 miles. This was at the peak of my fracture. Now, if you know anything about fractures, they don't last a day. They don't last 2 weeks. They last months. Okay, and hurt like a son bitch, don't they? Oh man, and I had a bunch of them. They fractured because of the weight, like I told you, jumping out the trucks, and I was sure damn like I was. I would always get this feeling of wanting to throw up. You know, when I would move on my legs, I would hold on to bunk uh, to try to get to the latrine to go use the restroom because I just couldn't walk. But yet I managed to pass a 2 mile run and pass boot camp, right? And my age has something to do with it because, at a certain age, you have a certain run time. But nonetheless, a 2 mile run is a 2 mile run. And with my fractured tibias, oh my Lord, man, I just, every time I think about it, I get sick to my stomach. And I passed. And that was the kind of person I had always been, even since I was a kid. Get cut, you move on. Get a bang here and there. I broke my wrist one time. It's I had to try to fake it, let people know I'm okay. Head injuries. As a kid, you fall down, you hit your head. You scrape your elbow, you scrape your knees. You get bit by bugs, and you got to be tough, right? So I've always been that kind of person, and that's why I'm having a problem now because of my, uh, um, my disposition to be tough, to be, hey, no big deal. Let's move on with it. And so the details of it, I've done enough videotaping, and if you guys are hearing it for the first time, you know, I um, I I had two injuries that were plaguing, that were really bad. One was the back injury while I was dealing with uh, that. I sustained a back injury with a head injury at one point, dealing with IEDs in Iraq, and the back injury was so bad. It was so bad that it overshadowed anything that TBI was. I was having any brain issues. It just wasn't there for me. My back, boy, I tell you, it's like having a toothache. Oh my Lord, I had to deal with that. So when I got home, I was having this back issue. It was terrible, and I just knew I had to get surgery at some point. And I did. I had to get surgery. I got it. They took part of my bone off, laminectomy, right? Yeah. And then after it was all said and done, then the TBI started to manifestate, started to come through, and I started to lose motor function and all sorts of things. And so now that's why I'm claiming. So a lot of people don't have that. Uh, they're not in that position to document all the time their injuries. So I'm trying to explain to the federal government, hey, this is my situation, but they tend to not want to know. They want to brush it underneath because it basically accounts for, accountability. Somebody is more responsible to needing to help me out than ignoring my situation. So it's always something, folks. But I'm trying to get through it, and that's why I'm asking for help now. I need as much help as I can get. So I'm going to end it at that. I got to save my phone battery. And what's today? Today's Saturday. So I'm going to try to be productive today. Uh, I got to do stuff at the house. So thanks y'all for listening, and we'll do it again. All right, you guys will be out here. Maybe I'll show y'all a little bit more about the dogs. I'll give you a skinny. She is a German short hair, and then the other one is a blue healer, but she's a chocolate healer. All right. So thanks again. Check y'all out later.